I'll write them on the board. I love it.
With my Hello Kitty blue pen.
I love a Hello Kitty pen too.
Come on.
Every day.
Guys, I hope you guys look back and be like, I knew that girl. She was in my best. And she was like, at least you guys can remember me.
Oh, you going straight.
Honey, I'm a child. Guys,
Maybe the way you be acting.
yes, you do. Yep,
The way you be acting, you need to go back.
I went to Charlie's at it.
But he be lying.
Are you gonna remember me?
Right.
Okay, if so, then I'm gonna I'll send you a letter. I'll send it to your son, and I'll be like, this is stolen.
Yo, her son.
Okay, you're gonna be working here in like 50 years.
I will be working.
We're gonna be old in 50 years. You'll be about. Dang.
Why? Do you have a contract with them?
Well, as long as you work for 30 years, you get to retire with some good money. So I'm gonna make it. After that, I get to live and do
So
what I
did you
want.
do the math to figure that out? Or did you
Yes.
do? I knew you did.
Alright, let's keep going. Alright. Zero product property. If you didn't do it, these are our 3 definitions here for Bauer.
Are you sure you're trying? I think you need to go back over.
I feel like
for 15 years.
I feel like every time I look at every time.
Maybe you need to.
Alright, Renisha, we gotta get into this. Alright. If the product of 2 real numbers is 0, then at least one of the numbers is 0. Melina, I'm getting started now. If I multiply 2 things together, for instance, if I multiply 2 times x, right, and the answer is 0, what does x have to be? 0. Must be 0. That's what the zero product property says. Okay? That's it. Next. The solutions of equations are called roots. So you know the solutions of equations are called roots. Got it? Got it? And lastly, repeated roots. If more than one root is the same number, it's a repeated root. All right, here we go. Alright, here's your notes. Get started. After you guys copy the notes, we're gonna do 3 required classwork problems. So, in chapter 6.4, we're going to solve equations that equal 0. Jig, are you ready to get started? You got a pencil?
I have a pen.
Actually, I'm looking for my last. I think I lost it for my last.
Okay.
She has some on her desk. You just gotta add.
Actually, I just ordered some on Amazon, but I have color pencils inside.
You lost your backpack? Yeah, no, I left it.
Oh,
Dang. That kind of strong.
Did everybody get the extra credit yesterday after the quiz? You got it?
Yeah,
You guys color your extra credit over the weekend and bring it on Tuesday.
Just a credit.
5 points extra. On the basket if it's done.
5 points. That's a lot. 5 points.
I did. Are you actually going to do it? I did already. How did you do it already? Why did you do that? You did that all in 4 Christian, you did all of that in 4?
You guys actually just
Why?
that. This is 7.4. Fix that. We're in chapter 7, y'all. Alright. So listen, we're solving equations today. We just finished with a lot of distribution, right? We did adding, subtracting, and distributing. This is kind of weird today. We're not going to distribute. So our equations are going to be set equal to 0, and we're not distributing. Okay, don't distribute them. What you do to solve it is you set each part of the equation equal to 0, because we're going to think about the zero product property, and then we solve the new equations using inverse operations. So these are our steps today. So when you're done writing that, we're going to do on page 600, we're going to use these 2 steps on numbers 1 through 3. All right, sounds like we're ready. So I'm headed to page 600. I want to get into this. Let's go. Hurry on up. Hurry on up. I want to go. I assigned you a bunch of questions. We need to do them.
Please don't.
Wait.
Oh, wow. That's for you.
You ain't find no what can I get online? No. Forget about it.
If you don't talk to you this way, you're going to be right.
Alright, here I go. I can't wait anymore. I guess I can write it on the board.
You know what she was talking about. Actually, this morning she only said one yesterday, and I was surprised. No, because when we
She's
said
working.
You guys, this is a cross line.
real.
Alright, so I'm going to do the first one on the board for everyone who's still writing. It says 3t parentheses t plus 2 equals 0. These, well, you haven't finished it yet. If you haven't finished writing this stuff, you can just go right to the page if you want. Okay, so yeah, we can. The weird thing here is that you do not distribute. I'll show you why.
No.
Yeah,
No. That sard is coming straight through glass.
Oh, well, what I'm saying, when it's open, it looks like it's shut.
Yeah. All right. So guys, this was a really basic example. If 2 times 0 equals 0, I'm sorry, 2 times x equals 0, then x has to be 0, right? Well, if this times this equals 0, then either 3t equals 0 or t plus 2 will have to equal 0. You guys buy into that?
Yeah.
This is called the zero product property. If you're multiplying two things together and the result is 0, then one of those things has to be 0. That's the only way to get a 0 out. You solve them both, and there's two possible answers. Sure.
This reminds me of the other lesson.
Mm-hmm.
These could be negative, and it could be negative.
Yes. Yes, ready guys? Okay. Well, first, before you understand it, you have to buy into this. Okay, if I did 2 times x is 0, could you tell me what x is? 0. The only way to, if you're multiplying and the answer is 0, then one or both of the things you're multiplying must be 0. You buy into that. Okay, so this is multiplication because it's a parentheses, right? It's this times this, and they equal 0. So that means either this part is 0 or maybe this part is 0. So we're gonna solve both of these, and it's gonna give us two answers that would make a 0 here. Sorry, this is multiplication. Yes, but if it was y times x equals 0, then I would say either y is 0 or x is 0, or maybe they're both 0. What, building 8? Sure. Yeah. All right, let me just finish solving this one first. Okay, so I'm on step 2. So I set each part equal to 0. I put the first part equal to 0. I put the second part equal to 0. This was step 1. And now step 2, I actually solve them. So now this is just like a little equation that we've solved before. To solve this, I would divide by 3. I don't like dividing 0, but that's what's going to happen here. I get the answer that t is 0. And then over here, I subtract 2. And I get the answer that t is negative 2. And it could be either one. 2 answers.
So they're different t's?
It's just 2 possibilities for t. So if I put a 0 in here, for instance, if you want to check it, 3 times 0 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. So if I put a 0 in here, it'll come out right. Also, if I put a negative 2 in here, I get negative 2 plus 2 is 0. And this times 0 would be 0. So there's 2 answers for t. The 3 is given in the question. And I'm solving it, yes. Um, correct. Yes, I almost wrote the word opposite here instead of inverse. Opposite or inverse operation, yes. Well said.
You know what sounds good? You hush. And I know what you want to do, Shelly.
Oh.
Which one? On something. And I know I need it.
All right, now number two. All right. Yes. Now I'm going to keep the z minus 4 the same and I make them equal 0. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to do z minus 4 equals 0 and I'm going to do z minus 6 equals 0. You take each part and make them equal 0. And then you solve those little parts. So to solve this one, I would add 6 to both sides, like we used to do when we were solving equations. And I get the answer 6. On this part, I would add 4 to both sides, and I get the answer 4. So if I wanted to check it, I would plug it in. You can plug it in and check. If you put a 4 in, the answer will come out 0. And if you put a 6 in, the answer comes out 0. What's that?
So basically just two
So we
equations
don't go
and one
far.
you just solve both of them.
Yeah, 2 equations. It is. I think it's one of the easiest lessons that we do. Yes, this is a good one to understand. This becomes just like a tiny part of our next lesson. It's like a little substep of a real problem, actually.
So every equation, whenever when does it have equal zero?
This is only when the equation equals 0 can you do this.
So what would we put if we knew
If it wasn't a 0?
Yeah.
Well, the truth is, we would distribute all of that. We would do the box, distribute it. We would subtract over what was in the 0 spot to make it equal 0. Then we would put it back in parentheses and solve again. Which is how we do it.
Right.
What's that? Yes, number 3 is a 2-step equation. Yes. Look at Jigger. This is the problem, okay?
Okay. I am watching.
Okay, set. There's a 0 here. This only works if there's a 0 there.
Okay.
In between here, there's not a plus sign or a minus sign, right? Okay. So all you do is you take this one and you make it equal 0.
Okay.
And you take this one and you make it equal 0. And so you turn 1 into 2.
Wouldn't that just be the opposite of both those numbers?
Right, now I add 4 and z is 4, opposite.
Right.
And now I add 6 and z is 6.
Oh, the math is mathing now.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's not a real tough one. They do get a little harder, but
For a second, I thought I was just slow.
this is it. This is it. You got it. Everybody in here can do this. All right, now number 3 has a fraction, which I know is when you feel like everything looks crazy, but it's not too much different. Want to write this down before I go to number 3? Megan, you wanna write this one down before you go to sleep? You got it? Zoe, you got it? Alright, I'm headed to number 3 then. Alright, number 3 is more difficult. I don't know why I'm not getting more anymore, but
Wow. The whole class can hear our conversation.
Bro, what? That's fine. It's not a secret.
Okay, Amber, we doing work.
Well, I understand what I'm doing.
you should maybe be like a
No, she felt like she had too much of an attitude.
Alright, so this one's weird.
Exactly.
Calm down.
This one is weird because they're both the same, right? The left group and the right group are the exact same equation. So really, if you want to just do it once, you can. But then that answer is going to be called a repeated root because it happened twice. Are they different, guys? My bad. Thank goodness you guys were here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to add 4. Okay, so the other one was just opposite, but this one's more complicated because of the 3 in front. When I add 4 over, I get 3z equals 4. And now what do I do to get z alone? It's 3 times z. So I do the opposite of times and I divide. And now I have a weird fraction answer, but that does happen. So that was just a 2-step equation. It really isn't.
Can you just keep it at your proper fraction?
Yeah, let's just keep it 4 over 3. Subtract 4. Now 3z equals negative 4. Divide 3. They do have degrees in broadcasting and journalism.
Isn't journalism a weather?
What?
It's like writing.
Meteorology is the weather.
Oh.
Oh, it is?
You said journal.
She said journalism. Journalism is writing, right?
Yeah.
Guys, I can really be a writer.
Yeah, you can be writing.
What did you think to write about? Actually,
Alright guys, let's start your assignment. You have 15 minutes to crush this assignment. I believe in you.
What assignment?
Crush it out. Don't have homework over your 3-day weekend.
What assignment?
Page 603, 1 through 19, odd.
You know, 3-day weekends are like special, right?
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
No, we're gonna do it right now. You have 15 minutes. It's quick work. You can do it. You crush it out. At least get half of it done.
Right.
You got still got number 3.
Number 3, yeah, I got number 3.
Dx, you make equal 0, and it's done.
Dead wrong.
Yes.
You walking on clouds.
Yep. Page 603. 603.
Wait, what we doing here? Like, why would you talking when you see her up there teaching and talking to the whole class? Like, that's disrespectful. You,
Me?
yes,
No.
yes,
No.
yes. What?
Huh?
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 Yes?
Yes?
Tell us how there's.
What she said?
What'd you say?
It's Y0 for number 19.
Where are we going to 19? Are you done?
Nope. Let's have all around.
Ooh, I love 19. Let's all go to 19 together.
Thanks, Ramon. Thanks, Ramon.
You guys, 19 is the perfect visual of what we're doing. We're moving into quadratic graphs, which is a nice parabola. So listen, guys. See how this is. Oh my gosh, we're getting there. All right, you guys see how this says y right here? Well, if I make y0, I'm talking about intercepts, right? There's 2 points here. There's negative 8, 0, and there's 8, 0. Those are the x-intercepts. Those are also the roots, okay? So when you look at the equation, you have your two parts. You do x minus 8 equals 0. X plus 8 equals 0. And then you add 8, subtract 8. You get x is 8 and x is negative 8. And so what you should know, which I don't think many of you are, okay, thank you, some of you are with me. What you should know is that the zero product property when you have two answers is you're looking at two x-intercepts. Now what you're getting ready to do is solve parabola equations. These are quadratics. They're this shape's called a parabola. We're getting ready to graph them and solve them. So if you're given two sets of parentheses, and you guys were kind of questioning, how could there be two answers? Why is there two answers? Well, if a graph has two intercepts, you're going to come up with two answers. So we're looking at a nonlinear graph with two x-intercepts. All right. This is a big important lead up. We're literally going to be talking about these like for the next month. These things. That's cool. Yep.
I said he doesn't understand all of it.
The numbers.
Right.
And
And I was like, you understood when she was talking about money and paychecks and stuff. So I was like, he understood
Yeah.
that.
He actually does understand most of this, don't you, James?
Yeah, most of it, but I'm confused right now.
Okay, look. It's not hard though. You see the parentheses? Alright, now listen. If there's a zero right here, only if there's a zero, you make that each parentheses equal 0. And then you solve two little babies.
They was on the X. I mean, they was on the Y. Now you got it on the X.
No, it's still on Y. I took this and I made it equal 0. I didn't change X in any way.
Because you see it says X minus 8. So wouldn't that make the 8 the Y? And then when you do that, and then now it looks like it switched to X from Y. That's what it looks like. Since it says X, then it has the things. Like, wouldn't that be the Y or not? No. Okay. Never mind, man.
This is, you should know how to do this. There's no
I couldn't find it at my house. Huh? I think that's what I can't find
Why was there negative 8, 0, and a negative?
Those are points.
it.
Those are points on the line.
I thought
Okay, seen it? Oh yeah, 13 is crazy. Let's look at 13. It's r minus 4 squared r plus 8. Okay. Hey, everybody jump to 13. That's a hard one.
I'm there.
Okay, I'm gonna rewrite this as r minus 4 times r minus 4. That was our lesson before. If there's a little 2 out there, there's 2 of them, right? If it's squared, then there's 2 of them, correct? And now the r plus 8 goes next to it. All right, so now we have r minus 4 equals 0, r minus 4 equals 0, and r plus 8 equals 0. Add 4, and we get that r is 4. I don't have to do it again. R is going to be 4 again, right? Add 4, add 4. So this is called a repeated solution. And then this one, I minus 8 and I minus 8. And r equals negative 8. So I get 2 answers. R is 4 and r is negative 8. So if it was, that means it's going to hit the x-axis in those 2 places. Yes. Correct, but it's a repeated answer, right? It's 1, it's 8, but it's a repeated. Well, let's just get to another one then, man. I'm sure do a binder though. Will you keep a binder in your bag? Yeah, just leave it here if you want.
Yeah, that'd probably be better.
If you want to leave it in there.
But she'll clean it up. I can't help it. When I see something on my face.
Did you get your happy dancing for free?
Early finishers do 21 and 29.
I mean, I'm not.
See a set, yeah. You better do it.
You need to do me a favor and just hush that up.
I'm gonna take it back to kindergarten. Bubbles and wings, my sister.
Bubble and wings. Heavy on the bubble. Right. Heavy on the bubble. Alina, what did I say? Bubble and wings. Do that. I think my teacher used to be like, she don't even want to hear it. Whoa. I am so tired. We're about to leave.
I'm not even gonna answer that. I'm not gonna.
You get a little vigorously. It wasn't good. Run that back.
What did she say?
She can practice at home. They say not practice at home. She said.
You see what she said about that Wingstop brand.
Oh, yeah.
Bro,
Oh, we were talking about it before. Did she hear that? Barbecue sauce.
barbecue sauce.